Hey guys, welcome to another video and happy Halloween by the way too. I don't know if I'm going to upload this before or during Halloween, but I figured the best way to kind of do this video and upload it is to try to do it as close to Halloween as I possibly can with my schedule here. And one thing I kind of realized the other day, and it's something that's kind of intrigued me on YouTube as of recently, specifically for the month of October for this year, is I really haven't done a Halloween film franchise ranking yet. So I'm going to spend today's video, because I normally do movie reviews for those who don't really watch my channel very often. But today I'm going to do a ranking of all 13 Halloween films. We currently are up to Halloween Ends in the franchise. So if there's any Halloween films that are made after Halloween Ends, if you're seeing this video way later on, I am only just going up to Halloween Ends, which is about 13 films in the franchise at this point. So let's kind of start at the bottom, work our way to the top. We're going to start with what I feel is some of the weakest films of the franchise and work our way up to what I think is some of the best films of the franchise. This is just my opinion. I know the Halloween franchise is very divisive in the sense that everybody has a different way of ranking what they feel is the best and what is the worst. So if yours is different, feel free to completely, comment down below. Let me know what your rankings are. Maybe even a little bit of reasoning as to why certain films are ranked the way they are if you want to. But this is my take on the 13 films of the Halloween franchise. What I feel is the worst, what I feel is the best. I'll try to give a little bit of clarity on each ranking as to why it's as low or is as high as it is. But let's get started here. I have 13 films to rank here. And we're actually going to start at a film that I think is going to be kind of anger some people, because I know some people actually kind of like this movie. I personally really did not like this film at all. So at number 13, at the very bottom of the list, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. I absolutely hate this movie. It's actually one of the few films in the course of my life, because I'm about 35 years old at the recording of this video. And in that time frame, I've never walked out of a movie. I've always watched a film from start to finish when I see it in theaters. But this was one of the first ones where I was very tempted to just kind of leave the theater and just not even finish it. We were kind of, the friend I was seeing it with at the time, we were just kind of in the process of walking out while it was done, while it was finishing up. And we saw the end credits starting to roll. So we clearly neither one of us liked it. But I just didn't like this movie. It feels very incompetent. I didn't like how it didn't add anything new to the franchise. It almost felt like Rob Zombie was trying to add more of an art house feel compared to what the first film felt like. And it just did not work at all. I did not like the way Michael Myers looked in the movie. I didn't like that there's scenes where he actually talks in the movie, which I really did not like at all. I don't like the whole direction they took with, and there's going to be spoilers in this video, just be aware of that. So all 13 films, if there's anything spoiler related I want to talk about, we are going to get into spoilers. So make sure you've seen all 13 Halloween films going into this. I did not like how they tried to make Laurie Strode look like she was kind of going to be the new Michael Myers, quote unquote, by the end of the movie. The whole thing with the white horse was stupid. I just really do not like this movie. It's a 2 out of 10 for me. I cannot stand watching it. I only give a 0 out of 10 to films that I absolutely cannot stand watching at all. But this movie was close. I mean, it was very, very close to getting a 0 at one point. But I settled on a 2 when I first saw it. But it's not a good movie. I absolutely hate it. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is at number 13 on the list. Then at number 12 on the list, we have a film that a lot of other Halloween film franchise fans really hate too. And I really hate it as well. And I actually think it's just a little bit better than Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie, but not by a lot. And that's Halloween Resurrection from 2002. I do not like this movie. It's very dumb. I hate the whole reality TV setting that they went with for the movie. And I really, really hate the first 15 minutes that kill off Laurie Strode. Very, very awful to do in a Halloween film. Very insulting to the fans as well. Did not like this. Did not like the concept they went with. Did not like that, Busta Rhymes was trying to zap Michael Myers in the balls at the end of the movie and stuff like that. Very terrible movie. It measly makes it at number 12 on the list. At number 11, we have a film that actually a lot of Halloween franchise fans really like for some reason, but I really hate it. I hate both versions of it. There's two existing versions of this movie, and that's Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I did not like this movie either. It's better than Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but it's not a good movie either. The whole thing with Michael Myers potentially committing incest is terrible. I don't know if that's in both versions or not. I think it is. It's just one of those movies where you just kind of see it, the one time, and I was somehow able to see the producer's cut or whatever that other alternate cut of the movie is. But both versions are terrible. You can tell that Donald Pleasance was at the end of the line while making this movie. I think he even passed away before it released, so he was like right at the end of his life when it was made. I did not like the person they recast to play Jamie Strode or Jamie Lloyd or whatever you want to call her. The person that replaced Daniel Harris in the movie, did not like her replacement at all. I didn't like that she was killed off right away. I just don't like this movie. It's just not a well-made movie. I know Paul Rudd, it's like one of his earliest acting career roles, but even he's kind of not very good in the movie either. It's just a very subpar bad movie. It's just not very well made. I also didn't like the whole heavy metal twist on the John Carpenter theme. I thought that was bad too whenever Michael Myers is walking around in the movie. Very terrible film. Do not like it at all. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers is number 11 on the list. At number 10 on the list, in 10th place in this case, we have Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I kind of have a weird relationship with this movie. It's one of those movies where I absolutely don't hate it, but I don't really like it either. So it's in kind of that weird area where I can tolerate it if I'm watching like a Halloween marathon on TV or something like that. But as a film, and if I'm evaluating on its own terms, it's just not a great Halloween movie. Michael Myers' mask alone looks pretty bad in it. I know people give a lot of crap to Halloween 4 for how bad it looks in that movie. I think it actually looks worse in Halloween 5, if I'm being completely honest. Just the characters are kind of insufferable this time around. Once again, this franchise has a bad history of killing off important characters right away, and I know one of the characters from Halloween 4 that was significant to that story got killed off right away in this one. It's just not a great movie. It's just like I said, I can tolerate it. I can sit through it. I can sit through it much better than 6 and Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but it's not a good movie. It's just kind of generic and just kind of clobbled together and just really doesn't feel professionally made very well. So it makes it at number 10 on my list. It's just not a great movie. At number 9 on the list, we have Halloween Kills. So we're actually kind of to the point where I would say the rest of the franchise on out are films that, for the most part, I enjoy. Maybe they're not great films. Maybe I don't go back to them a lot. But for the most part, for the rest, I would say the other remaining 9 films are Halloween films that I can at least sit through and tolerate. And I don't necessarily hate, quote unquote. But like I said, number 9 on the list is Halloween Kills. I like this movie. It's not a fantastic movie. I think the best part of it, and I think a lot of people would agree, is the whole flashback scene where we do go back to 1978 and we see how Michael Myers got captured within this new timeline of the Blumhouse trilogy. I thought that flashback sequence was really cool. I liked what they did with recreating what looked like Donald Pleasance in the scene, but it was an actual actor that they dressed up to look like Donald Pleasance in the scene. I like how Michael Myers' mask is very accurate to what it looked like in 1978, and I just like the overall colors and the way that it looks and the way it looked like it really was shot in 1978. Unfortunately, we have the rest of the movie to get through, and the whole mob mentality thing they went with this film, I think what was kind of stupid in this movie. It's just one of those movies, too, where everybody has to act stupid for the plot to work. And also because Laurie Strode is injured from the events of Halloween 2018. She's just kind of on a hospital bed for most of the movie. So it's just one of those films where I can tolerate it. I like it enough. There's things about it in it that are enjoyable. But for the most part, it's just a Halloween story that really doesn't have much of a story to begin with. And like I said, the whole mob mentality thing makes the film feel stupider than it has to be. So it makes it in at number 9 on the list. At number 8 on the list, we have a Halloween film that a lot of franchise fans really don't like at all. I like it. There's things about it that I don't like, but there's things about it that I think are kind of cool and interesting. And at number 8 on the list, we have Halloween Ends. The thing with this film, and I think the biggest crime it commits, I think Halloween fans will agree, the biggest crime that this movie commits is it markets itself, at least at the time that it came out, that the big battle between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And that really is just kind of the last 10, 15 minutes of the movie in the third act. So it kind of markets itself for something that it only kind of explores a little bit, which I think angers a lot of people with it. But what I like about it is kind of like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which we'll get to later in the list. I like how the film does explore the idea of other anthology-related things going on in the town of Haddonfield. We have this whole Corey character that's kind of blamed for something that he didn't really necessarily do, but he kind of views Michael Myers as kind of his way out of feeling better about these terrible things that were committed from him. But I like the idea of, kind of giving that Halloween 3 anthology route with the franchise of, what are some other things going on in Haddonfield and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of why I'm nicer to it than other people are. And I thought the overall final showdown with Laurie Strode and Michael Myers was pretty cool. But there is a final showdown between the two of them that I think is more worthwhile that we're going to get into later in the list here. But Halloween Ends makes it at number 8 on my list. At number 7 on my list, we have a Halloween film that some people actually really, really like. They probably even have it in their top 5 if you really look closely at some of the other lists. For me personally, it's a little bit lower on the list. There's some things about it that I'm not in love with. And that's Halloween 2 from 1981, the John Carpenter timeline, the original one. I like this movie. I think it works best, like as a lot of people put it, as kind of a double feature with the first film, where you just kind of watch them back to back because it's kind of all one big night that happens in 1978. I do like how it also takes place in 1978. It's not just what's Michael Myers doing in 1981. They didn't just go that route with it. I think the whole hospital setting works better in this film than it did in Halloween Kills. I do like how Laurie Strode gets a little bit more to do in the hospital than she does in Halloween Kills. Um, I just don't. You could very much tell that it's not directed by John Carpenter, and maybe that's kind of my big, gripe with it. Is I really wanted John Carpenter to come back to direct this one. It's cool that somebody else kind of wanted to continue his style and everything like that, but for me personally, as a Halloween fan, I think the best way to continue that first story, make more of the night he came home really worthwhile, all more on the same night, is if John Carpenter did come back himself and direct it. I know there's things about the script, because I know he wrote it and I think produced it too, that were written by him. But I think if he directed the movie, I think certain aspects of it would have just been better and more worthwhile and more along the line of what the first film did. I like the movie. It's not great. Like I said, there's things about it that I think really could have been better. So it makes it in at number 7 on my list. At number 6 on my list, we have a Halloween film that people might be surprised that I have as high as I do on the list. And that's Rob Zombie's first remake of Halloween from 2007. I like this movie. It's not a fantastic movie. I think what makes this movie stand out a little bit more than some of these other ones that are lower on the list is I do like some of those smaller characters that Rob Zombie incorporates into the story, like Big Joe Grizzly, the bullies from the school. I think one of them was one of the Spy Kids actors. I like the whole. I like how there's a little bit more of a comedic nature to some of the characters too. There's some things they do with Laurie Strode that are unforgivable in this movie, like the whole thing with her doing a joke with her mom about being touched in school or something like that, and using a bagel. I thought that was terrible, but overall, I think the Rob Zombie had just enough ideas for the remake. I also kind of like that he explores Michael's childhood a little bit more in the movie. Um, so that, like how he became crazy and all this other stuff. So there's admirable things about it. It's not a fantastic movie, but it's enjoyable enough where I do have it in at number 6 on the list, and that's Rob Zombie's 2007 remake for number 6. At number 5 on my list, we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I really, really like this movie. So we're actually getting into the Halloween films that I really, really like a lot and go back to a lot. I thought Danielle Harris was a great Jamie Lloyd / Jamie Strode, whatever you want to refer to her as. I like how it's very much in the spirit of the first film. I like how it's kind of a better continuation of the Halloween story than Halloween 2 was. I do like how Michael Myers is kind of finding a new thing to do in the story and the overall franchise as well. I like where Dr. Loomis is at in the franchise in this movie. I like that he's still kind of that crazy doctor that some people don't believe in the town of Haddonfield and stuff like that, but you can definitely tell there's a more aggressive side to him that really wants to get things done and really wants Michael to be taken out this time around too. It's just a very enjoyable Halloween film. I like the vibes. I really like the opening credits for the movie. I thought the opening credits really represent the fall season really well too. Here too. Very enjoyable Halloween film. I have it in at number 5 on my list. At number 4 on my list, we have Halloween 2018 from David Gordon Green. This film rebooted the franchise. It continues off of just the first movie, none of the other sequels. And I really like this movie a lot. There's things about it that aren't quite as good as H2O, which I'm going to get into here briefly, but I really like that he kind of had that tone of the first movie back, had interesting ways to kind of continue the Halloween story 40 years later. I like where Laurie Strode is at. I like that she's kind of the Sarah Connor version of what we saw her at from the first movie. I kind of like the stuff that happens with her daughter, how she was kind of trained as a kid and is, preparing for Michael Myers at any given time. Just an overall very enjoyable reboot slash sequel. I thought the way that Michael Myers was taken out at the end of the film was very satisfying. If they kind of left it there and that's how the end of the franchise, I think I would have been happy overall. But they continued on with it with some other ones. But overall, for the most part, as this film stands as itself, I have it in at number 4 on my list, and that's Halloween 2018. At number 3 on my list, we have a film that I really, really like a lot, and I wish more fans of the franchise enjoyed more, and that's Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. I think it's just really cool that they went with the route of every year or every couple of years for the Halloween franchise, they would have a new Halloween anthology story. I think that's a really cool idea. I like how they were acknowledging the overall earlier films, with Michael Myers appearing on the television, with Jamie Lee Curtis having a voice role in the movie, with I think Nancy Loomis is the actress's name who played the friend in the first Halloween movie. She plays the ex-wife of Dr. Chalice in the movie. There's a lot of fun little Easter eggs if you're familiar with the Halloween franchise in this. I like how they went with different masks, masks that are more along the line of the overall Halloween season. I just like the overall idea too. I like the idea of this mask maker that has these like evil schemes he wants to commit on Halloween night and stuff like that. Just a very enjoyable, unique sequel. It's just a sequel that is just very unique and stands out quite a bit. And overall, too, I kind of like the Dr. Chalice character. I know he's kind of an awful person because he sleeps around with everybody and things like that. But just, I don't know. There's just so many things to admire about this movie. And I think that's why I go back to it every Halloween. It's such a very enjoyable sequel with a unique take on how to do an anthology story for a franchise. It makes it in at number 3 on my list. At number 2 on my list, we have Halloween H2O 20 Years Later. I really, really love this sequel. I like how Michael was taken out at the end of the movie. I like where we find Jamie Lee Curtis and the Laurie Strode character. I like how she kind of has problems with alcohol and all this other stuff. Very enjoyable sequel. Really like where Laurie is at 20 years later. I like all the stuff going on with her son and kind of how he's sick and tired of kind of taking care of her every Halloween. I love the whole Janet Leigh cameo. I love where they go with the boyfriend character and kind of how he's intrigued with helping out Laurie Strode, kind of figuring herself out even after moving and pretending that she passed away and all this other stuff. Very enjoyable, satisfying sequel. The Michael Myers mask probably could have been a little bit better, and I know they used like 3 different masks in the movie too. That part could have been better, but for the most part, it's a very satisfying sequel. It makes it in at number 2 on my list. At number 1 on my list, we have the Halloween film that I'm sure is number 1 on everybody else's list, and that's Halloween, the original 1978 film. Classic John Carpenter movie. It's a masterpiece. Very much has a lot to say about evil and about Halloween, the holiday, and it has interesting characters like Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode and all of Laurie Strode's friends. Iconic scenes like the guy with the bed blanket sheet, pretending to be a ghost, and how Michael Myers kind of continues that prank for him. Just a lot of iconic scenes in this movie that are just absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely number 1 on my list. So that's my ranking of the Halloween film franchise. You guys, let me know down below what you feel of the Halloween franchise. What's your favorite ones, your least favorite ones? Do you agree? Do you just disagree with the list? And let me know down below what your favorite Halloween films are. And we'll see you next Halloween.